Hey everyone, I just wanted to share a video with you guys today just about an important aspect of my life, and that is my personal relationship with God. I wanted to post this video today just as a means of encouragement for you guys, or just as a means of discernment if you guys are just trying to figure out who Jesus is and what a personal relationship with Him looks like. And so today, I want to share my personal testimony with you guys as to how God has interceded in my life and how He's continuing to work in my life. So, starting out with how life was before I completely surrendered control to Christ, um, I grew up in a household where spirituality was very loosely and occasionally discussed, and it was occasionally influenced. It was pretty tough for it to be a consistent thing in our household, just because my parents had very differing spiritual beliefs, and so for that reason, I just never totally explored it very much growing up. I mean, there was the occasional trek to church on the holidays and on some Sundays, but it was never anything that I really learned had any personal significance to me. And just what it meant for my life as well as the lives of other people. And so for most of my life, I grew up not really focusing on spirituality. Instead, I put my focus on my success in sports, music, and academics. And I also put my focus on trying to impress and live up to the standards of other people. And ultimately, trying to pursue those things continually just burnt me out and just left me feeling dissatisfied. I just was trying to be someone who I wasn't, and I wasn't experiencing any deep or meaningful relationships. And in some cases, my relationships were becoming pretty unhealthy. And so the first sign that God provided in my life was when I attended youth group in the seventh grade, and it was there that I began to hear about Jesus and learn about Him a little more. And I was vaguely described the idea of having God in my life, and so instantly that sounded appealing to me, and I accepted Him into my life without really recognizing the true significance of it. And for that reason, my life really did not change going into high school. I continued to just pursue the broken tendencies in my life, continuing to try to impress other people, living up to their standards, and trying to attain success that in some regards was just unrealistic and wasn't making me happy. And so once I got to college, that was when I really began to learn about what a personal relationship with Christ looks like. I had people from crew who talked to me about a personal relationship with God, and yeah, just how God had a plan for my life and how He wanted to have a relationship with me, and how He wanted to save me from the brokenness that was apparent in my life, as well as in many other individuals' lives. And it helped me to recognize that there was a greater plan and purpose out there for me that didn't involve the destructive cycle that I was on. But still, I had some initial reactions, that involved just a hesitation about it, just because of just the radical faith aspect. It seemed too extreme for me, and I didn't want to totally surrender control of my life, because for most of my life, I had really relied on controlling the situation in order to experience peace. And that those thoughts were prominent for a little while, until I really began to recognize more and more of the brokenness that was apparent in my life. The dissatisfaction really became clear. For most of my life, it was just a feeling that I just thought was normal, but I really began to make sense of it and just recognize that I was just dissatisfied with my relationships with other people, and I was just dissatisfied with just my pursuit of success in materialistic things. And I just really realized that I was not a very loving individual, and that I was just very selfish, and that I wasn't living for a greater purpose than myself. And that was when I really began to learn the significance about Christ being in my life, when I continued to process having a personal relationship with God with other people. And I learned how um, God wanted to come in my life to remove that junk and to transform me into a new man, and to provide me with redemption, and to help me to live beyond myself, and to love other people, and to live for his greater plan. And that all more and more seemed appealing to me. And there was a point in the second semester of my freshman year when I was given the opportunity, after some extensive discipleship and mentoring with a crew leader, to respond to the gospel. And at that point, I still kind of struggled with giving complete control of my life, and what that may have entailed. But I still went ahead and accepted Christ in my life, because I knew that these thoughts reflected a selfish heart, and that I wanted to live for more than that. I wanted to be able to love people better. I wanted to be able to live for a greater purpose than myself. I wanted to experience transformation beyond what this life could give me, and live for a greater purpose beyond what I could ever fathom. And so that day, in April of my freshman year, I prayed to receive Christ into my life. And since then, I wouldn't say that the transformation was overnight, but that God has been working through it as a process. And just to kind of note some areas where God has been working in my life, He's definitely provided me with a change in perspective. I've become more outward, and I've had healthier relationships with other people, and I've just felt like such a more loving individual towards other people. And I've also recognized that I don't have to be perfect, and that I don't have to put my worth in how I perform up to other people's standards. I don't have to live for the validation of other people. And so, that motivates me differently, because, despite things, not totally being perfect, I know that God is still wanting, or working in me to transform me into the person who He wants me to be. And just knowing that I have His grace and His truth to give me hope despite my mistakes and hardships is what continually drives me each and every day. And so that's my testimony, guys. And I definitely believe that God is continuing to work in my life in awesome ways. And if you guys have any questions at all, feel free to message me. Have a good day.